Police system don't let enough.
Yeah, come on in. Good afternoon, everyone. Great to be here with so many people who are committed to helping Western North Carolina get back on its feet. I want to thank the Boone Area Chamber of Commerce for hosting us and for serving the business community for 75 years at this point. I'm here to announce a public-private partnership that will help address the urgent needs of small businesses in Western North Carolina as they fight to make it through the winter successfully. Western North Carolina's economy has suffered a tremendous setback since Hurricane Helene swept through the region. If these small local businesses can make it through the winter, I'm confident that they have a good chance of coming back stronger than ever in the next tourism season. But we need to support them through this uncertain time. I'm joined today by Dr. Susan Mims somewhere. Where is she hiding? Right behind me. Who is the CEO of the Dogwood Health Trust. For the past couple of months, Dogwood has been supporting local small businesses in Western North Carolina suffering either physical or economic damage from the storm, get through a program that's called the Western North Carolina Small Business Grant Program. It has successfully delivered desperately needed grants to keep small businesses afloat, administered by the Appalachian Community Capital, which is a community development financial institution partner with Dogwood. I want to thank Dogwood for its generosity and its initiative for prioritizing a community need that was clear to all. Unfortunately, the initial round of grants that they put forward have been exhausted. The demand was much greater than the amount of money that was available in round one. That's why I am excited to announce that the state of North Carolina will be putting up $20 million, and Dogwood Trust is going to be adding another $10 million for a new pool of small business grants of $30 million. Again, it's all about helping small businesses that need a boost during this slow time of business year and who suffered from Hurricane Helene. We also hope that other foundations join Dogwood and the state of North Carolina in this initiative. The grants will be for eligible small businesses with revenues not exceeding $2.5 million that are in one of 30 counties in Western North Carolina, as well as including the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. If you are a small business in one of these affected counties and you suffered due to a lien, please apply for assistance. The portal on the Appalachian Community Capital website is online now. I'm proud to be announcing this investment from our state and philanthropic partners because when our small businesses thrive, we all thrive. I've met with many small business owners on my trips out west in recent weeks and months. Amy Davis and her family provided tens of thousands of meals to hungry McDowell County neighbors from their country store and cafe in Old Fort. Ashley Gallagher here in Watauga County turned her indoor skate park into a distribution center for food, clothing, water, heaters, building supplies, so that she could help her neighbors. And I don't want to steal Renata's thunder. Where's Renata? But she has a powerful, touching story to share as well today. These small businesses are the beating hearts of our communities. As I visited these folks, they underscore how committed they are to supporting their communities and keeping their businesses in Western North Carolina if they can just make it. Just like they have stepped up for their neighbors, we must step up for them. I'm proud of today's announcement, and shortly Dogwood will talk about its contribution to this effort. But let me say first that more will be needed. Today's $30 million is a positive step, but it is nowhere near enough to meet the needs of Western North Carolina small businesses. I've asked the federal government for increased investment. Next week, I will be asking the General Assembly here in Raleigh to appropriate funds that will urgently support the businesses across Western North Carolina, as well as housing and infrastructure. And we need more philanthropies to step up and join this partnership. If you are a foundation or a financial institution and you are ready to join our effort in strengthening Western North Carolina by investing in the Western North Carolina Small Business Grant Program, please reach out. We will embrace your contribution. Before I close, I want to share another positive announcement for Western North Carolina. Over Martin Luther King weekend, I was in Western North Carolina. In fact, I had the entire cabinet, all 13 members of my cabinet in various counties across Western North Carolina doing volunteer work just so they can get grounded with what the west of the state is facing. I had the pleasure of joining Baptist on Mission in Spruce Pine, where they were helping Barbara and her family rebuild their family home. The flooding had come about 4 or 5 feet in the first floor, had to take out all of the sheetrock, everything, the flooring on the whole first floor. By the time I had gotten there, a lot of work had been done over the previous weeks. As we installed insulation and drywall that day, Barbara could begin to see her home taking shape. I also got to tour Baptist on Mission's rebuild site in Spruce Pine, one of 7 sites they have set up across the state of North Carolina. The one in Spruce Pine is going to be able to house 200 volunteers at any given time, people who come in from across the country, as well as North Carolina, to just go hammer a nail and help people who need to get their home fixed. Their plan, Baptist on Mission's plan, is to stay here for as many years as it takes to help the people of West North Carolina rebuild. They are among the unsung heroes here out west, and I think we need to help them keep doing what they're doing, and we need to support their efforts. That's why I'm announcing a $3 million grant to Baptist on Mission to continue their emergency rapid repair projects. The money will help them purchase building materials that their volunteers can then install to help homeowners get back into their properties as quickly as possible and in safe, habitable condition. Another organization that is doing similarly impactful work is Habitat for Humanity. So we're also announcing a $3 million grant to Habitat to support its repair work. They're currently supporting 178 separate home repair projects ranging from siding on a house or a roof replacement across 11 Western North Carolina affiliates. By working together, we can repair and rebuild homes so that they are safe and habitable for their residents. Richard and Marlo, who are here representing their organizations, thank you both. Whether you are a local government, a philanthropy, a corporation, a nonprofit, or just a person in your community, there is a role for you to play in helping Western North Carolina come back. And by each of us doing our part, we will rebuild Western North Carolina safer and stronger than ever before. Thank you all, and I will now turn it over to Dr. Susan Mims with Dogwood Health Trust.
Thank you, Governor Stein, and good afternoon to everyone who is participating today. I am grateful to be here representing Dogwood Health Trust, a private foundation focused on improving the health and well-being of all people and communities in Western North Carolina's 18 far western counties and the Quella boundary of the eastern band of the Cherokee. And I am joined here today by the Secretary of our Board of Directors, Mr. Casey Cooper. Thanks for being with us, Casey. With the devastation left by Hurricane Helene, today's announcement by the state of North Carolina is more important than ever to the vitality of our region. Following the storm, we saw so many businesses suffering and struggling. Dogwood worked with Appalachian Community Capital to create the Western North Carolina Small Business Initiative last October as part of our larger Hurricane Helene relief efforts and prioritizing helping the very small businesses that were most physically and economically impacted by the storm. And we received nearly 3,000 applications in just 4 weeks. Roughly 1,000 small businesses in Western North Carolina have received grants of up to $25,000 from Dogwood's initial $20 million investment. Earlier this month, we received a thank you note from a photographer and gallery owner named Karen Moggins, who received one of our grants. Her business was located in the River Arts District in Asheville. The day before the storm, she grabbed whatever she could fit from her gallery into her car. And when she returned 10 days later, everything was gone and completely devastated. Karen was about to give up and move on before she got the grant. But with it, she was able to resume her payroll, rebuild some of what she lost, and replace inventory, found a temporary location to sell her work, and now is thinking about how she's going to go about opening a space of her own again. It's stories like Karen's and today's announcement by the state of North Carolina that have inspired Dogwood to announce and invest another $10 million into the Western North Carolina Small Business Initiative. We believe that expanding this initiative will help to ensure the health of our region by strengthening the economy and making it possible for neighbors to remain employed and support their families. Each small business that receives a grant employs the people who create the vitality of our communities. And the next phase of the Western North Carolina Small Business Initiative broadens the criteria to businesses that employ even more people. We are grateful to the Appalachian Community Capital for managing this initiative. And we are also proud to expand and support alongside the state of North Carolina. And we hope that more of our philanthropic peers and others will consider contributing to this very important effort as well. And while Dogwood's support for small businesses has been a notable part of our response to Hurricane Helene, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the many other not-for-profits, grantee, and community partners who play such an important role in the region's response from this devastating storm. Dogwood Health Trust remains committed to our region, and we will continue to be part of Western North Carolina's recovery and rebuilding in the years ahead. So thank you for allowing us to be here today. And now I have the honor to pass this over to Renata Dos Santos with River Girl Fishing Company. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Renata Dos Santos, and I'm the co-owner of River Girl Fishing Company in Todd. My wife, Kelly, the original River Girl, founded the business 20 years ago. She's passionate about fly fishing and educating people on anything outdoor or nature related. The business started with just guided fly fishing, and then after many requests, she branched out with 2 kayaks. Over time, we invested in more kayaks, tubes, canoes, bicycles, and ecotourism opportunities. We've always been committed to our environment and the river as it is our home. So much so that Kelly started Trashy Tuesdays, where on the first Tuesday of each month, folks float for free in exchange for cleaning up the South Fork of the New River. Over River Girl's 20 years in business, we've never asked for a loan, and we've worked hard to invest in both our business and the Ashe and Watauga County communities. Then last September happened. After the worst of the storm had passed, we received a call from a friend. "You've got to come down, the building is gone." Our storage building had been lifted in the air and twisted. All of our boats, tubes, bicycles, and tubes were making their way to Virginia. Like everyone else, we never imagined that we'd find ourselves in this situation. But for the first time, we've had to consider if taking a loan on the business was a viable option given the financial challenges ahead. In Western North Carolina, we have a resiliency, a perseverance, the mountain can-do attitude. We support our neighbors, and like the river, we go with the flow. For the 3 weeks after Hurricane Helene, Kelly and I turned our business property into a relief center, and we called it Command Central. We rescued people and animals, helped folks get news of their missing loved ones, coordinated relief efforts via road and bridge repair, property and river cleanup, pulled vehicles out of the river, cleared high water bridges that had become dams clogged with debris, provided access to heavy equipment, donated culverts, distributed food, fuel, generators, general supplies, did wellness checks, became a trash and recycling site for Todd and Fleetwood, sent aid to surrounding towns, you name it, we did it. And after 3 weeks, we were able to divert people's need to more permanent or established resources. Our point is, like the mountain, we are strong. We adapt to change, and we will do everything we can to help others. But to make it through the next tourism season, our small businesses are going to need help. Like us, many are hesitant to take on additional debt via loans. We are a seasonal business, and normally funds made through the on-season serve as our sustenance during the off-season. Many, like us, accumulate resources over the years, and it is challenging, to say the least, to rebuild 20 years' worth of our livelihoods in just a few months. And that's why Rivergirl is proud to stand here in support of this grant program. It recognizes the critical role that our small businesses play in our community, and it recognizes that when we succeed, our whole community succeeds. To be honest, at this point as business owners, we are taking it one day at a time. We are proud of the work we're doing, and this upcoming tourist season will be heavily focused on education and cleanup. And while we are physically back to square one of offering fly fishing and a few kayaks, it is our hope that through grant funding, small businesses like ours will have a fighting chance to survive. And just as much as we focus on our financial footing, we also need to keep an eye on supporting the emotional and mental trauma people have endured. So thank you, Governor Stein, Dogwood Health Trust, and any future partners who are making this program possible. I'll now turn it over to Richard Brunson with Baptist on Mission.
Thank you. Well, we're so honored to be here with the different groups who are here, who are making such a big difference all across Western North Carolina. Thank you so much, Governor Stein. Thank you for the grant. We're so thankful for these funds and for the disaster relief grant that we received from the General Assembly before Helene even hit. We're going to use all these funds to purchase building materials, as you said, Governor, to be used by volunteers to help families get back in their homes. Our goal is 1,000 homes this year. You know, more than half the cost of building is labor. And so when volunteers provide the labor, we can double the impact or even triple the number of families that can get back in their homes. And especially when we have great volunteers like Governor Stein, because I heard from our team that he was one of the best people they had putting up sheetrock. But maybe more important than that, talking to people and encouraging people like Barbara, whose home that the governor was in. So volunteers are providing not just that labor, not just that's so important, but it's that listening ear. It's a smile, it's a prayer, it's encouragement for the family, and they know they're not forgotten. Volunteers are providing hope. So thank you so much for coming to our Rebuild Center sites, along with your cabinet, Governor Stein, and working and giving hope to families affected by Helene. Baptist Disaster Relief volunteers have been working ever since Helene hit. We start out with, we have a lot of mass feeding equipment, and along with our partners with North Carolina Emergency Management and Red Cross and Salvation Army, we were able to provide almost 500,000 hot meals after Helene. Next came chainsaw and tarps on roofs and mud outs and tear outs of homes that had been flooded. And volunteers showed up to tear out flooring and drywall, to stop the spread of mold, and just to give encouragement with conversations and smiles and prayers. And over 5,000 jobs were completed. And now we're in the stage of rebuilds, and we're trying to get as many people back in their homes as possible. Richard and Tammy Weeks are here with me, and they're our site coordinators for all those 7 sites that the governor talked about across western North Carolina. And they told me the story of just one of many homeowners. This particular family is the Carpenter family. And every home on the street where the Carpenter family lives was severely damaged by flooding from Helene. Volunteers were going door to door, and they met the Carpenter family, and it was a unique situation. Mr. Carpenter had some dementia and would not leave the home they were living in. Even though it was completely damaged, it was gutted, all their belongings were piled beside the road. Mr. Carpenter was very anxious, he was struggling. So plans for the work began immediately, and volunteers were called in and hit the ground running, and as work began, Mr. Carpenter started showing signs of calmness, and just in a matter of a few weeks, the family was back to somewhat of a normal life, and the rebuild process was well underway. And volunteers would work, and they would talk to Mr. Carpenter, and they had him smiling and calm. And just a few weeks after that, their home was completed, and the Carpenters were so thankful for their home and for the volunteers. Rebuilding homes and rebuilding lives. The recovery effort in western North Carolina is going to be a marathon, not a sprint. We'll need lots of volunteers to help over the next 4 or 5 years. As the governor described the Essential Rapid Repair Program, that this is the first phase to get families back in their home. It won't be a completely finished home, but it will provide the basics. Insulation, flooring, sheetrock, the electrical, the plumbing, HVAC, a functional kitchen, appliance, and bathrooms. And then we'll come back later and finish the house. It's our desire to get as many people back into a warm, safe, secure, functional house as soon as possible. It costs approximately $20,000 per home for the building materials. Again, volunteers more than double the value of the work because they're providing their volunteer labor. To help with this effort, we're using lots of, and need even more, licensed plumbers and electricians and people with construction skills, because all this work has to be done to code, working with county building inspectors. But we're also going to need hundreds of other people willing to assist in many ways. People who just want to be Jesus' hands and feet to homeowners. Homeowners like the Carpenters and many, many more. In a disaster, a lot of times I think of a Bible verse. It's Romans 8:28. And Romans 8:28 says, "In all things God works for good." God's a good God. We live in a fallen world and bad things happen, but God's always working for good, and God calls us to work for good. You know, some of our very best volunteers are from western North Carolina. These volunteers have made many, many trips down east after Florence and after Matthew to help those families down east affected by Matthew and Florence get back in their homes. And now some of these very volunteers have lost their homes. And so mountain people are special. And right now they need us. And I'm so thankful that God's giving us the honor of helping them. Thank you, Governor Stein, for all that you're doing to help western North Carolina. I want to introduce the next speaker, Marlo Foster with Habitat.
So it is great to be with you all today, and the great thing about going last is that almost everything has been said, so I'm pulling up the anchor, right? But first of all, on behalf of my board of directors and several affiliate leaders that we have with me from Habitat for Humanity, we'd like to thank you for this $3 million commitment. The governor, sometimes I call him Josh quietly, but he's like, now call me Governor Marlin. I mean, Josh and I have had a long history working together in public policy, and so it's just beautiful to see his commitment to the state and his longevity of serving people. Thank you. You know, the governor mentioned it in his presentation, his opening speech. We are targeting 178 repairs this year. And these dollars will go a long way in helping us get that done. But these affiliate leaders will tell you that what we didn't recognize and what we've learned in the process of doing these repairs is that a lot of them are turning into rebuilds. And you've heard the Baptist on Mission talk about this. We did not realize initially going into these homes what the extent of the damage was going to be. So we are thankful for these funds that can allow us to do our work. I also just want to take the opportunity to thank Dogwood Health Trust. Dogwood Health Trust has been a partner in this work in Western North Carolina. They've given us a grant that they've allowed us to repurpose to focus on our Western affiliates. We've also received money from Hyundai Corporation to do some work in Old Fort. In McDowell County, which is actually an area we don't have an affiliate, but we've been able to do work in Old Fort, so we're very excited about that, and we're very thankful for that. The last thing that I will say is that Baptist on Mission has thrown down the gauntlet because apparently the governor is a great drywaller. So we've got our Habitat affiliate leaders here. So we welcome you back to the West and back to a Habitat affiliate. But thank you so much. Thank you, Governor, very much. And I'll turn it back over to the governor.
Marla, thank you. What I'm very good at is taking direction. And the folks with Baptist on Mission, they told me exactly what I needed to do. And I did what I was told. We're happy to take questions, and you can direct them to any of the speakers.
Governor, how will you source that state portion?
It will come from appropriations that the General Assembly has made. And I want to thank the legislature for the investments it has made to date. But we all recognize is there is much more work to be done. This is just about accelerating the work, bringing urgency to this moment, but this work is going to go on for months and in some instances years, and we as a state, we as a nation have to be here for the long haul to help the people of Western North Carolina.
On the federal portion, obviously you met with the president when he visited Western North Carolina. Have you heard back from the White House in terms of their commitment to the state?
Yeah, I've been very grateful. The president came to North Carolina. It was his first visit out of Washington, D.C. after being reinaugurated. And so that was a strong signal. He reassured me that North Carolina would not be forgotten in any subsequent disaster relief bills that Congress passes. Since that, I've talked with the National Security Advisor a couple of times, just had a call yesterday or the day before with the acting administrator of FEMA. They remain focused on making sure that we work together as well as possible to get this relief work done as well as we can.
What factors led to the expansion to additional counties and larger businesses?
A couple factors, and I'm happy to let Dr. Mims take a turn on this question as well. One is Dogwood Health Trust, by its charter, is limited to 18 counties, and we all know that the affected counties were more than that. So one value of bringing the state in to support this work is it lets us cover all of Western North Carolina that was affected, not just Dogwood's service area. The second thing is the program, as initially went, was incredibly successful. It was oversubscribed. The money has gone out the door, and it has helped businesses that were struggling and in need. And it became apparent that it was essentially a proof point. This is a desperately needed program. And so we were happy to be able to come together to increase the total amount of resources. And we also realized that in the first wave, even though there were a number of businesses with revenues of less than $1 million, that was the original limitation, there were more businesses that needed it in that category than were able to get funded. But there were a lot of businesses in the next size, from $1 million to $2.5 million in revenues, that also needed help. And that was the thinking behind allowing both sets of businesses to be able to apply this time. And I'll see if Dr. Mims wants to add.
I think the governor covered it very well. We start something, we have to start somewhere, and we knew that we could provide this in a circumscribed way and learn as we go. And the more you learn, we heard from so many businesses that were just over the limit, and their stories are extremely compelling. And so we, as soon as we had that program underway, we started looking for opportunities to actually, increase that limit to a higher revenue level. And I am so pleased with the state of North Carolina's help that we are able to do that and announce this today.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Back to the state portion, what's your sense of where Raleigh stands? How long until we'll see the next package from the legislature, the General Assembly?
We had meetings with the General Assembly this week. There were a couple of hearings, one on the select committee in the House on Western North Carolina recovery, and then another one with government operations yesterday on all of disaster relief. And my sense is that there's a great appetite to put forward money when we can show them that that money is making a difference. And I am confident that we are going to be, with programs like this, we're gonna be able to show and convince them that this is the right investment that they should make in the people of Western North Carolina.
Politics won't get in the way?
Well, I certainly hope not. I mean, look, here's what I know happened in the weeks and months that followed that storm, is that folks were helping each other. Renata was telling, they turned their lost business into a community resource center to help other folks, even though they lost everything. And I assure you this, they never asked anybody who came and said, I needed a blanket or I needed some food, whether they were a Democrat or Republican, because they're a human being and they were in need. And the people of Western North Carolina are in need, and it does not matter if they're a Democrat, Republican, or unaffiliated voter. It's who they are as a person. They're a North Carolinian, and we have to be able to overcome our political differences to help those folks. Thank y'all. Thanks so much.